person selected tonight as our Teacher of the Year for the system will compete in the State Teacher of the Year competition a little bit later in the year. I would like to introduce those folks, and I hope they're all here tonight, who worked with us on the selection committee. First of all, Mr. VanDoran, retired educator. Mr. Art. Tammy Casperson. Tammy also was very instrumental in seeing what's in the gift bags that are going on up here. We appreciate Tammy looking out for my teachers. Mr. Michael White from Jasper Drugs. Brian McGeechan from Papa John's Pizza. Brian. And Ms. Joanne Phillips from the Pickens County Retired Educators Association. Let me share with you, in case you don't know the selection criteria, what is it they're looking for in a Teacher of the Year. Teacher of the Year program from the state annually recognizes outstanding public school teachers. It's a prestigious award sponsored by the Georgia Department of Education. And the first year that they gave out a Teacher of the Year award was 1971. The candidate for Teacher of the Year should be a certified classroom teacher with a clear renewable certificate in public pre-K through grade 12, including special education, physical education, art, music, and media specialist. Counselors are not eligible for the award. The teacher should be an exceptionally dedicated, knowledgeable, and skilled teacher who is planning to continue active status of teaching. Should be a teacher who inspires students of all backgrounds and abilities to learn. The teacher should be someone who has the respect and admiration of students, parents, and colleagues. And it should be a teacher who plays an active and useful role in the community as well as in the school. And if you're selected as the State Teacher of the Year, and I've known a couple of these folks, the Teacher of the Year, it must be poised and articulate and possess the energy to withstand visiting almost every school system in the state of Georgia. So that's the criteria for our selection. Well, our selection committee got together and they had their day that they spent grilling this person and persons, and the results were made, and we do not know the results. We have the plaque up here, but we don't know the results. Actually, the results have been buried in a mayonnaise jar in Ben Arp's front yard, so that's where the results have been up till tonight. I have some thank yous before we go on with the program. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Donna Gold. Where's Donna at? Donna takes this on as a project and does a wonderful job coordinating all this, and I appreciate so much, Donna, your help, and I'll be glad tomorrow we can get back to normal a little bit for that. Would also like to thank the members of the Young Life Club at Pickens High School. They'll be your servers tonight, and it's so neat to have our own kids here with us and doing the serving. We'd also like to thank Young Life for allowing us to use their beautiful facility here. Thank you, Susan Reeves and my wife, for doing the table decorations. My wife was telling me what a wonderful thing it was yesterday when she and Donna were going down the hill, and up came 8 Greyhound buses that wanted the road more than they wanted it going down. So my wife really enjoyed that tremendously. We have a number of sponsors who have given gifts or awards for the Teacher of the Year. Please patronize these sponsors if you get the opportunity. Thank you to 61 Main, Bojangles, The Carriage House, Coco's Cottage, Daisy Shoes and Accessories, The Hair Loft, IBM Credit Union, Jasper Drugs, Madeline's Cafe, Papa John's Pizza, Sackett's Western Wear, all made donations to our Teacher of the Year gifts. A special thank you to Coca-Cola and Mr. Jeff Hagan for sponsoring the banquet tonight, and also providing each Teacher of the Year at each school a check for $250, and the Teacher of the Year for the county a check for $1,000. So let's give a round of applause for that. Each school level Teacher of the Year will be given about $500 in appreciation gifts and the System Teacher of the Year about $1,500 in appreciation gifts. And we're working on some things for the future, aren't we, Tammy, that we'd like to see the teacher to have. Eddie, I've got to talk to you, your ring guy. Ring, Teacher of the Year, ring every year. I want to work on that one for us. After we enjoy dinner, the principals really have the program tonight. The principals will be talking about their teachers. And I always find that quite interesting to listen to what the principals say about their teachers. And I appreciate them for getting ready to do that. And then we will have the opportunity to announce our System Teacher of the Year. We are very proud of our teachers and very thankful for what they do each year. And as we approach this time of year where we kind of take some time to be thankful, we just like to say how much we appreciate all you guys do in this school system for kids. Because that's what it's about, folks. It's all about the kids. It's not about any of us adults. It's about what goes on for children. I'd like to, at this time, to ask my good friend, Mr. VanDoran, to come return thanks, and then Donna will give us some eating instructions, and we'll begin.
As we go to prayer tonight, let's each one of us send up a prayer for the many people who are still hurting from Hurricane Sandy. Many people, it just seems like they keep getting slammed week after week. Join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, we do thank you for this wonderful day that you have given us. We thank you for educators who educate the mind, the heart, and the spirit. We would ask your blessings on the Pickens County school system, each employee, each student, and each family represented. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the miracles that we are able to work with in the field of education, the miracles that ride our school buses each day, the miracles that walk through the classroom door each and every day. We would ask that you do remember the people who have been affected by Hurricane Sandy, that their lives may be made whole, and that their losses can be dealt with. Our Father, we would also want to remember on this very special day all people who protect our country, wherever they may serve around the world, the men and women of our armed forces. We would especially ask you to hold safe in your hand those who are in harm's way. Lord, we thank you for this food. We thank you for the meal and the hands that prepared it. We ask all of these blessings and to give all praises in thy Son's name.
I don't know too many people that are from Los Angeles and that area that finds a little place called Demorest, Georgia to go to college. But we're thankful she did. She also has a very interesting family. You know, when they talk about talent running through the family, this one definitely does. Her dad is an artist and musician out in Los Angeles. Her mom is the director of a film study school and is working on her doctorate at King's College in Great Britain. As a senior, now think back your senior year and how interesting your senior year was. How would you like to have a camera, a TV camera, following you around your entire senior year? Well, they did to Jacqueline, and it was titled Senior Year, and it dealt with the changing of life, her life from senior as she went all the way through her senior year and got ready to go to college. It was a 15-week series on PBS, and then about 2 years ago they did a follow-up 10 years after. So she's had a very interesting life, but it got a whole lot more interesting when she moved to Demorest and married Doug. And we're thankful that she's come to Hill City to teach art. She does an amazing job. When our staff selected Jacqueline as Teacher of the Year, it was on her last day before she went out on maternity leave. So she is out on maternity leave right now. She hasn't come back yet. But the other interesting thing is when she got home, her mom had flown in from Los Angeles to be with her that weekend, to have the baby on Monday. And her brother had recently, in Los Angeles, as a music teacher, been named Teacher of the Year there. So both mom's daughter and son named Teacher of the Year, and had a baby and everything. This is her second child, and we're just so tickled to have Jacqueline and Hill City as Hill City's Teacher of the Year, Jacqueline Tipton. And yes, Jasper Middle School.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to start out, and I made some reference at the last board meeting that we were at, and I'd also like to take this opportunity to make a couple of remarks. We have a great public school system here in Pickens County, and I truly believe that we're all very fortunate to be here. You know, you can go to surrounding counties, you can go to metro area counties, you can go to South Georgia, you can go to other states, and you will not find the dedication, the quality, and the charisma of teachers that we have here. You know, there's been legislation going around, you know, we know about the charter school vote and that sort of thing. But folks, I'm telling you, when people put their eyes and put themselves within the school system and see and experience the sacrifices that our teachers make, you're not going to find that anywhere else. And I just feel very strongly about that, because I think that we have to be our own advocates, we have to be our own proponents, and we have to go forth and we have to send the message to the public of who we are. And you know, we hear all of this negative stuff, and quite frankly, I'm tired of it. And I'm going to be the loudest, the most boisterous, positive advocate for this school system that anyone has seen. I've just made that my mission. I've been in this long enough now, and that's what I'm going to do. And if anybody doesn't want to hear it, too bad. But I'm going to put it out there. And I just want to thank these teachers. I want to thank this Board of Education. I want to thank our superintendent. I want to thank all of our teachers who we're here to honor tonight. They're a big deal. I had a conversation with one of my teachers. I said, people don't understand what you do every day. People don't understand that if you've had a rough night with your child and you've been up all night, or you've had a bad day the day before, you come to work, you have to face all these young people, and you have to still teach them. You have to still give them that information. And you have to be on stage all day. You can't go sit in your cubicle all day and be in a bad mood. You've got to put it out there day in and day out. And our teachers do that. Let's give all of our teachers in Pickens County a big round of applause. Tonight, it's my privilege and honor to introduce you to our Teacher of the Year at Jasper Middle School, Miss Leah VanDoran. Miss Leah, give a big wave over there. Miss VanDoran is a 2006 graduate of Pickens High School and had one of the 10 highest SAT scores in her senior class. She was also in the top 10% of her graduating class and was named a star student as well. Miss VanDoran began her post-secondary studies in fine arts at Young Harris College, and then she moved on to Reinhardt University, where she completed a bachelor's degree in music education. She was named to the Phi Theta Kappa National Honor Society and also Pi Kappa Lambda National Music Honor Society during her post-secondary tenure. She graduated both institutions magna cum laude. Ms. VanDoran completed her master's degree in music education in April of 2012, summa cum laude. Ms. VanDoran joined the Jasper Middle School staff as a first-year teacher in August of 2010. As we proceeded to interview several candidates for the position prior to hiring Ms. VanDoran, it was clearly evident that we had a very special candidate in our midst. Ms. VanDoran clearly articulated her interest and desires to become an outstanding teacher. It was clear to me that she was intrinsically motivated and held an internal passion for teaching. She shared her desire to have a great music program while ultimately instilling a love of music within her students. Once hired, she hit the ground running big time. The vision that she communicated in her interview suddenly came alive in her classes at Jasper Middle School. When you enter Ms. VanDoran's classroom, you feel the energy and enthusiasm that is being communicated both verbally and through nonverbal means. High expectations are commonplace in the classroom, and those expectations are combined with a caring attitude, charisma, and passion for the art of music. Her mother, Miss Rebecca VanDoran, tells us that music has been a part of Leah's life since a very young age. She would spend hours training on music of any kind. Music fed her soul, says Miss VanDoran, and soothed her mind from any distractions that she may have encountered during the day. In her first year at Jasper Middle School, she chartered a girls' vocal ensemble named the JMS Dynamics. The ensemble has gone on to perform at several exciting venues. She also assisted with the directorship of Aladdin Jr., the musical, in 2010. She directed Beauty and the Beast Jr. for JMS and PCMS in 2011 and directed Annie for JMS and PCMS in 2012. Ms. VanDoran entered the JMS course in a large group performance evaluation that's held annually and received an excellent rating. This is the first performance by the choir at large group performance evaluation since the school opened in 2002. Ms. VanDoran integrates several components of music within her classes. She teaches music theory, music history, world music, and she serves as our keyboard lab instructor. Ms. VanDoran is a skilled keyboardist, flautist, and vocalist, and she utilizes all these talents in the education of our young people. Ms. VanDoran possesses the zeal and fortitude to connect with children in a way that motivates those students to give their very best work ethic possible. As her principal, I see Ms. VanDoran as a true advocate for children. She learns the needs of each student while challenging the students to set attainable goals while pressing forward to meet those challenges. Her interventional approaches to student learning are customized and titrated for each child based on their needs at any given time, the hallmark of an outstanding educator. Ms. VanDoran is caring, nurturing, compassionate, dedicated, dependable, and professional. She's always prepared to assist students, colleagues, and administration in any area that she's called upon. A snapshot of her classroom reveals work in progress with bell-to-bell teaching and learning. Students are on task, enjoying their surroundings, knowing that they are in the presence of a caring, passionate, and fully competent teacher. I have the utmost respect and admiration for Ms. VanDoran and her work with our students. She is a true gem. Thank you, Ms. VanDoran, for dedicating your life to the education and well-being of our young people. You are one that will go very far in this profession and will certainly leave your mark on the lives of numerous students during your career. Please join me, ladies and gentlemen, this evening in recognizing Jasper Middle School's Teacher of the Year, Ms. Leah VanDoran.
Jenni Shoffer is an excellent teacher, excuse me, who wears the students and the parents out with her high expectations. There are no slackers in her classroom. When I first came to Jasper Elementary, Jenni was a third grade teacher who had a special ed background, a strong commitment to success for her students, and the desire to do whatever she was asked or was needed to do to make their education better. I moved her from a teen who she had good friends, connections, and a good handle on the curriculum, to a grade that needed a teacher who knew what the students needed to strive for in order to be prepared for the end of the year for the journey ahead. She became a leader at her grade level and a role model for others in our school. Jenni has 3 of her own children that keep her busy as a parent in the community and in the school system. When her twins were in 2nd grade, she was their teacher. And I believe they were very glad to be promoted to the next grade so they didn't have to go home with their teacher. Her expectations never falter, and her children can attest to this. As she said when filling out the Teacher of the Year packet, I treasure each and every life in my hands and anticipate with hope the people that my students will become. I tell them, don't just be somebody you'll be proud to know. I am proud to introduce the Jasper Elementary Teacher of the Year, Ms. Jenni Shoffer.
Good evening. Teacher of the Year honorees, board members, Superintendent Jasper, and other guests with us this evening. I am grateful for the opportunity to introduce you to Tate Elementary's Teacher of the Year, kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Amanda Neighbors. The saying goes that we never realize the impact that our words and actions can have on others. For Ms. Neighbors, the guidance, love, and support began at an early age and was intertwined in her home, her church, and her kindergarten class. Her mother, Brenda, her grandmother, Taylor, and her kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Bish, have all impacted her in a positive way with their demonstrated love for others, for family, and for Christ. It only takes a moment in Amanda's classroom to realize why her students love their teacher. In order to be a successful teacher, you must be willing to self-reflect on everything you do, both inside and outside the classroom. It might be easier to blame parents or the students themselves when things don't go well. Not for Amanda. She seeks to find ways that she can improve for the benefit of her students. Her success is also a result of establishing and building trust within her classroom. If you think about it, the only person that kindergarten students have ever had to trust is their parents. Well, Amanda takes time to invest in each student and getting to know them on a personal level. She establishes common ground, and she provides them with a safe and nurturing environment, and helping them realize that they are valuable and that they belong to their classroom family. Well, what makes Amanda such a conscientious teacher? She and her husband Shane are the proud parents of 2 children, Michaela and Nate. Amanda teaches her students the same way that she desires for her own children to be taught. Perhaps it's remembering the words of her grandmother Taylor, reminding her to appreciate every opportunity that is afforded to her, and knowing that with each of those opportunities, she's making a difference in the lives of her students. The poem, All I Really Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten, is simple yet profound. Kindergarten teachers like Amanda are building the foundation for their young students, not only in academics, but also in life. The rules are simple, and here are a few from the poem. Play fair, don't hit people, put things back, say you're sorry when you hurt someone, wash your hands before you eat, learn some and think some, play and work every day, flush, hold hands, and stick together. When a parent recently described her child's experience in Ms. Neighbors' class, she used the word magical. Her son's kindergarten experience was magical. Doesn't every child deserve for their first year in school to be magical? Tate Elementary is proud to honor you, Amanda, as our Teacher of the Year.
I thought I'd impress y'all by bringing my iPad up here. Maybe this long will be taken fun of using it. We'll try it. Dr. Jasper, I did text our Johnston's rep just a little while ago, and he said absolutely we can get those rings, so we can go ahead and order those this year as soon as we know who it is. Dr. Jasper sent us a text a few weeks ago telling us to limit our speeches to 3 or 4 minutes, and I didn't have a problem with that at all. When I got that, I said no problem, until I started reading Angela Quarles' biography that she had written to the committee. And when I started reading everything that she had accomplished, I don't know that I can get it all in, Dr. Jasper, and talk about her and how much she's done and how much she's meant to me at my school the past year and a half. She's got a ton of accolades. I'm going to go over those in just a minute, but I want to talk just real briefly about the time I spent with her the past year and a half getting to know her. I go to her all the time. I go to her room. She's out there all the time smiling. I talk to her about technology often and what we can do, what we can't do. One of the things that we did last year that I was proud of is that we put our heads together and were able to get the Dragon Television Network online rather than through the
phone system, so we can actually see the news instead of just listen to the news. So I was tickled about that. We were also fired up about getting our signs put out on in our school, and that's when she had her accident this summer. She shattered her femur this summer. I mean, just shattered up. Is that correct? Just shattered. It wasn't broken. It was just completely shattered. And so that put those plans on hold for a while. So I was really nervous as to whether or not she'd be able to start the school year with us. And so she came on. She was able to start. She had her. I think she started out in her crutches, and then she worked her way down to a cane, and now I think she's cane free, if I'm not mistaken. And now I've already lost my place on my iPad because it's gone dead. I got to put my password in. There it is. That's those passcodes. All right, so now I'm going to read you some of the accolades of Angela Quarles. I want you to listen to some of this. I know people in the committee know about Angela, but let me just read some of this. Angela's a graduate of Georgia Southern. She got a bachelor's and master's at Georgia Southern. And I'm just going to read this. I'm just going to quit talking and just read. I'm honored to be able to stand up here and recognize our Teacher of the Year at Pickens High School, Mrs. Angela Quarles. I'm going to give you a little background information. Currently teaches our engineering and technology education pathway courses in grades 9 through 12, which include the foundations of engineering, engineering concepts, engineering applications, and engineering research, design, and project management. She also teaches our broadcasting and video production pathway courses in grades 9 through 12, which includes DTV, or the Dragon Television program, which is produced and viewed on a daily basis at our school and on our school website. In 1999, she became the first female president of the Georgia Industrial Technology Education Association, which is now known as the Georgia Engineering and Technology Education Association. She successfully argued in meetings with the state legislature. Now, she's been in front of the state legislature talking to all those bigwigs down there about fighting for CTAE, and she successfully argued to allow the classes in technology education to count as college prep electives at that time. 11 of her students that she has taught, including 6 from Pickens High School, have been selected to participate in the annual Governor's Honors Program in the area of technology. She, along with her students, have been recognized at the state and national level for outstanding achievement in the field of engineering, and many of her students have gone on to become engineers. She was a 1999 Atlanta Journal-Constitution Honor Teacher. She was the 2001 Radio Shack National Teacher of Excellence Citation. In 2003, she was a Distinguished Technology Educator by the International Technology and Engineering Education Association. She was the receiver of the Jim Coffey Inspirational Teacher Award, who, by the way, she received that. In reading her bio, that was the most treasured award that she had gotten because of her mentor, Mr. Gene Nix, who taught her when she was in school. She's written and has been awarded multiple grants in the field of engineering and technology education. And at the state level, and I'm a personal testament to this, when you go to the state capitol, her name is synonymous with engineering and technology education. I went last year with them to their convention in Atlanta, and when Angela walked around, you just got to follow her because she knows everybody and everybody knows her. I mean, it's amazing how many people she knows, and if you want some pull down at the Capitol, you just need to take her with you because she's got some pull down there. It's my privilege and honor to present to you the Pickens High School Teacher of the Year, Miss Angela Quarles.
Good evening. Let me go ahead and express my gratitude for all the educators, their family and friends, and our dignitaries. Just great to see everybody out here to celebrate one of the best things that we can celebrate, which is outstanding teachers. I see a lot of former teachers of the year here, and I appreciate you being here. 255 for Hill City, 720 for Jasper Middle School, 136 for Jasper Elementary School, 254 for Tate, and Eddie, we're 3 seconds over. Just want to let you know, 503. So, who's keeping time, Dr. Jasper? Renee, my wife, I see you started my clock. I appreciate that. At the 5-minute mark, you wave at me. At 20-minute mark, you get the keys and want the car out. All right? Mr. Quarles, where's that? Mr. Quarles. Dr. Jasper always gives us a warning. Mr. Quarles always gets on to us afterwards. So I was trying to find out where he was at. I saw him earlier today. Mr. Quarles, I want to let you know that I only have one note card, but 2 books. I noticed that. But I've got two books. One of the books, Principals, have you seen this book before? This book is entitled, for those of you that have eyesight like mine, From Good Schools to Great Schools. And Dr. Jasper gave these books to the principals and asked us to be part of our novel study. And I'm indebted to him, and I appreciate that. Dr. Jasper, I didn't see anywhere in here where it talks about limit on time presentations, so I just wanted to let you know that. Read your book. I have another book that I want to share with you. This book is entitled The Life of Marla Callahan. And I'm just going to read a little bit out of it if you don't mind. Marla, I want to let you know that one of your students, Leah, did the cover of your book, so I'll be glad to give that to you afterwards. Chapter 1, The Early Years. If y'all don't know, Marla was born in Marietta, but she grew up in Jasper. She is a native of Jasper. She attended Pickens County Schools. She went to Jasper Elementary School, and she was so good she skipped over the middle school system and went straight to Pickens High School. For the natives here, you know what that's all about. So anyway, congratulations for that ingenious move. She said that when she was a little girl, she always dreamed of playing school in her mom's office. And many of you know her mom is a real estate agent. But she truly knew that she wanted to be a teacher when she was given an opportunity to work at Appalachian Technical College. And we'll get to that in just a second. So we'll go to Chapter 2. Chapter 2, Your Formative Years. Also known, your mom and dad told me to say this was the years to get off the payroll. That was their decision. If y'all know that Marla was a graduate of Brown University, she got her Bachelor's of Science degree in middle grades, and then she went and got her Master's degree at Piedmont. Okay. Chapter 3, her career years. As I mentioned, she started her work at Appalachian Tech. I believe you were working there full time and going to school, trying to get your degrees. And so she eventually came over to my school. We were so glad to have her. She became a teacher, and she started off in 6th grade. I'll tell a story about that a little bit later on. And today she is an 8th grade math teacher, and we appreciate that. Chapter 4, her sagacious instruction. And this, this wise instruction came from her partner who's here today, Miss Jackie Nation. Jackie Nation was Marla's supervising teacher, and Jackie writes this of Marla. Marla is so deserving of the Pickens County Middle School Teacher of the Year, not just because her peers think that she's an excellent teacher, but because her students think she is, and they are the ones that count. Marla makes a difference in the life of each child she teaches. She makes learning fun with her quick wit and great sense of humor. Marla gets to school early and stay late to make sure she is prepared to give her students exactly what they need to be successful. As for her 5 fellow teachers, we await each day anxiously to get our dose of Marla-isms that make our day. And so I appreciate Jackie writing that. And if y'all, Jackie's a former teacher of the year for PCMS, so that's a great compliment coming from her. Next chapter. Next chapter is Out of the Mouth of Babes. And these are some of Marla's students. When I asked them what they think about Marla, and they said, Marla is a great teacher. I'm sorry, that's the wrong ones. I'm sorry. Now, okay. It was a smart choice for PCMS to pick Marla Callahan for Teacher of the Year. She takes her time to explain the work if we don't get it. Thanks to her, she makes math a piece of cake. Honestly, Miss Callahan is the best teacher I've ever had. She explains it to where I can completely understand the math. She always has faith in her students, and if you don't get it, she won't let you fail. I personally think Miss Callahan deserves this award because she always teaches us what we need to know, and she always goes out of her way to help us when we don't understand, and she's also a sweet, caring woman, and that's why we call her Mama Callahan. Miss Callahan is an amazing teacher. She has so many aspects that make her a good teacher. First, she explains everything deeply. Second, she challenges us so we learn our topic. Third, she makes wonderful posters that explain everything. I believe those posters help the whole class. I think choosing her for teacher there was a great choice. And finally, this last student says, I think Ms. Callahan deserves the award because she is the best teacher. She takes the time to explain if we don't understand. She breaks it down piece by piece. She is nice, and she isn't just here to make money. She cares about our education and that we pass and succeed. see she is the best, and thanks to her, most of us understand math now. And so those are her out of the mouths of babes. Well, iPod problem here in a second. Technology. Now, from her colleagues, next chapter. Marla's a great teacher and co-worker. Her sense of humor cracks me up and brings a smile to my face often. She does a great job building relationships with her students. She shares concern and care for them while also teaching them responsibility. She strives for other students to be successful by being prepared, helping them, laughing with them, and disciplining them when needed. Marla is awesome. Marla is an individual that cares for each student's well-being and outside the classroom, in and outside the classroom. She's definitely concerned with teaching the whole child. Marla Callahan is genuinely positive, has a genuinely positive attitude and a sense of humor, have helped her develop a wonderful rapport with her students. She works tirelessly to meet the needs of her students through step-by-step and creative instruction, as well as extra help and remediation. And finally, one of her colleagues says, she explains things in depth to her students. She goes above and beyond to provide extra help and remediation time for those who are struggling. Next chapter. Chapter 6, entitled Wise Man. That would be me. And I would like to say that Marla has, I'm very pleased that when Marla came to us, it was a tough situation. You remember? She had to step in as a long-term sub. We had a teacher that had to take a medical leave in 6th grade. And this teacher was a very good teacher, and she left, and she was teaching my child. So, you know, when it becomes your child, it becomes important to find somebody that can replace this person. And we were very, very blessed, Marla. You stepped in and you took off, and you did such a good job that I couldn't let you go. And of course, we hired you full time. And I know Olivia, I think Olivia's around here somewhere, my oldest girl, appreciates and says great things. And currently, you're in your 2nd year. God bless you, teaching my baby, Marissa. So I appreciate you hanging in there with her. Last chapter. Last chapter's conclusion. And I'd like to conclude with Marla's words. Conclude, so if she can't come up here and talk to you right now, I hope she'll get another chance here in a minute, but I'll conclude with this, what she said in her application. We as educators discuss teaching the whole child, but sometimes we forget to address their social concerns. We must remember our students endure many hardships before they ever get on the school bus in the mornings. These students are inspiring and infuriating all the same day, and that's what makes my job the best in the world. If kids come to us from strong and healthy functioning families, it makes our job easier. But if they don't come to us from strong and healthy functioning families, it makes our job more important. Thank you, Marla Callahan. I'd like to recognize our teacher of the year, PCMS, Marla Callahan.
If you'd used an iPad, you'd have that trouble. Right, Eddie?
That's right.
I just want you to know that I found out the chef is one of my parents. I'm getting all the leftovers for tomorrow. Okay. I would like for you to know that our teacher of Theory and Harmony is Miss Jennifer Blankenship. Jennifer is not a native of Pickens County. She did move here when she was in the 6th grade. Her family was a coal mining family in West Virginia. She moved here because all the jobs went away and her family was forced to move. She married a Marine, and he became a Marine, and they moved to Okinawa, Japan. That must have been interesting. But she only stayed a year and then moved to North Carolina, which I'm sure seemed more like home. And after he was deployed back to the States, she found herself working in a daycare center with children. She never even thought about going into education. As a matter of fact, she never even considered it whatsoever, but kind of was forced to find a job, so she found herself working with children, and it was then that she discovered, oh my, I really like this. I like working with kids. So I think this is what I'll do. So as time passed, she worked with children and had a couple of her own and really liked watching them learn. So she moved back into Pickens County with her family and found herself as a parapro at Hill City Elementary. Imagine that. So as time passed, I found myself opening up Harmony Elementary, and believe it or not, at that time, we got to hire a bunch of teachers, which we don't get to do anymore. And everybody was saying, oh, there's this girl at Hill City you've got to interview. I remember Carlton, Renee Lemieux, Beth Simons. There's this girl down there you've got to talk to. Her name is Jennifer Blankenship. She is the best. You have got to interview her. And boy, am I glad I did. I interviewed Jennifer, and she came to work for us at Harmony in the 1st grade. She's been with us this is her 7th year in the 1st grade. Now Jennifer is such a wonderful teacher. She works with struggling students. She works in our co-teach classrooms. But one of the biggest things she does is she does phenomenal things with technology. Now, I have to say, Rick, I thought of you today when I thought of this. Actually, I thought of it yesterday. And at least Long helps me with this too because she does the technology thing. Now, Jennifer's had a lot of people come in her room because she does a lot of things with something called a Mimeo board. And I thought of Rick because he always used this term, technology's not my friend. Well, there's also this term that made me think of Rick because there was a mimeograph machine a long time ago. So we've gone from mimeograph to Mimeo boards. And then as I was reading her application, she talked about 3-ring binders. Once again, I thought of people like me and you, and then I saw Peggy, and it kind of reminded me of it too. Where we used to have all these 3-ring binders, and we had all of our materials in 3-ring binders. And then she talked about live binders that are technology driven. So you see, people like Jennifer use Mimeo boards and live binders instead of mimeographs and 3-ring binders. So if you want to know a lot about what the future's about with our students, Jennifer knows it. And I believe Lisa can tell you that Jennifer knows it. We have a lot of people that come into our building to observe what Jennifer knows about technology and how the kids, these little 1st graders, Eddie, you could come watch. I mean, really. She has her child, she has a 4-year-old at home that she uses the apps for the 1st grade classroom to go around to see if they'll work with her 1st grade students. And all the kids use all these apps in the room. It's just quite impressive. So thank you, Renee and Beth and Carlton and all of you that said, you need to interview this girl for a teaching spot at Harmony because she's really phenomenal when it comes to teaching, and she does what she needs to do for all these students out there. So technology can be your friend, Rick, and it really works. And she says in her application that we are accountable, we as educators are accountable for our future, and our future are our students. So thank you, Jennifer Blankenship, for being Harmony's Teacher of the Year.
Well, Miss Martin tried to tell me that I needed to prepare a speech. I didn't bring my note cards for this, and I didn't bring my iPad either, because I usually just like to speak from the heart. And it is so exciting to see all the people here and to see some of the very best people in Pickens County in education. And it is an honor to be the school board chair in a county like we have. And I'm just looking forward to all the great things we can have when we can send all the kids home with an iPad or with a Kindle or whatever it is that we come up with so that we can get rid of textbooks. So, and you know, it's no kidding that Jenni Shoffer does push her parents, because not only did she teach her 2 children, she also had my son all at the same time. So I have no earthly idea how she survived that year, but I just have to commend her because I couldn't teach my own child, not just one. I couldn't teach two for sure. But I appreciate all of you being here and all of the great things that you're doing for education in Pickens County, because it is a privilege and an honor to have our kids in a school system like we have here. I don't care what the state says about charter schools. I don't care what we call Pickens County if we turn us into a charter system, as long as we are doing what's good for kids. And I feel like that we really have people here that want to do that, and we have so much more room to grow and to be even better. And I just look forward to what that means. And it's an honor. I have no earthly idea who the winner is. Which one am I supposed to open first? Does it matter? And the 2013 Teacher of the Year is Miss Jacqueline Tipton.
They learn so many things about life through my class. My biggest thing in class is make your mistakes work. And I tell them it's not just in art, it's in life. You can trip and fall and just get up and keep walking. You can't erase your mistakes. You just gotta keep on going and work through it. And I've had parents come back and tell me how much that meant to them and their children, that they learned how to make their mistakes work. And that means a lot to me. It means the world to me to be able to work with these children every day. And I'm just very honored. And thank you so much.
What a wonderful evening, and I join Neil in saying we don't celebrate enough of what we do. You've seen 7 really great reasons tonight why you need to celebrate what's going on in Pickens County Schools and why we are becoming a great system. A couple of reminders. We need the teachers and the principals to stay for some pictures, please. Teachers of the Year, please make sure you pick up one of your baskets from Coca-Cola too as we go. I want to thank you all for coming this evening and have a safe drive home. Thank you.